you have a rule for how long a guest can stay at your house? Do you abide by the traditional 2-night rule? The house guests are welcome to stay and get fed for 2 nights and 3 days, but after that you politely kick them out of your house? Not because you don't like them, because they tend to smell like the fish does after 2 nights. So how many of you abide by 2 nights rule? Well, how many of you actually extend your hospitality more than 2 nights, into many nights? It's very generous of you. Can I be your house guest? So for me, I have a certain rule as well. My family, for my children, they can stay up to 1 week. Up to 1 week. My brothers and sisters, they can stay up to 3 nights. My friends, 2 nights. Strangers, 1 night. For church members, as many nights as possible. As many nights. Just have to ask my wife for permission on that. I'm sure that most of you are very generous and you're generous about how long they can stay. You're very hospitable. You won't push anybody away to kick them out of your house just because they decide to stay longer than 2 nights. Although you probably wanted that they might just go away. You won't because you are very generous and hospitable, right? But let me tell you that you should stick by 2-night rule. Not because I said so, but because what our ancient Christians practiced. According to our apostles' teachings and teachings deduction, it's a 2-night rule for Christian hospitality was kept. It says, if any guest or visiting teacher try to take advantage of free room and board for more than 2 nights, he is a false prophet. You should treat him as such. Kick them out of the house, right? So the next time, when your guest tries to take advantage of free room and board for more than 2 nights, you know what you should do. Right? I didn't make this up. It's not my teaching. Teachings of apostles. So of course, if you are going to apply 2-night rule for your house guests, you should abide by 2-night rule as well, isn't it? Not staying more than 2 nights and definitely not drinking more than 2 bottles of wine. So today we are continuing this radical hospitality theme that we've been going through for the last 2 months. And we are taking text from Hebrews chapter 13, verses 1 to 3. It's teachings about how the members of Christian communities should treat one another, should love one another as brothers and sisters, and love mutually, hospitable to strangers, and remembering the ones in persecution. Mutuality, hospitality, and connectivity. So what does it mean to hold each other in bound of mutuality and hospitality and connectivity? Well, let me just make it easier for you to understand and practice this. Let me suggest an image. You all have this, right, in your elastic band? You have it with you? Yes? Can you hold that up? Yeah. Good. Just that. So whenever you think of mutual love, hospitable love, and connecting love, think of an elastic band. Think of elastic band. And matter of fact, whenever you think about love in the Bible, and you have a hard time remembering the list of love, just think of this image, elastic band. Love is like an elastic band. That's it. So what's so special about elastic band? Well, elastic band, it stretches. Hospitable love, it stretches. Most elastic bands will stretch up to 10 times its original size. Can you stretch it as well? Can you stretch that? Right? A true love has the capacity to stretch wide enough to welcome and accommodate almost everyone, regardless of their background, of their race and color, culture and country, language, their interests, their beliefs, their religion, their age, their sex, their lifestyle, friends and enemies, families and refugees and neighbors and strangers. In our verse 2 today it says, be hospitable to strangers. You see, we tend to be hospitable to our friends and family members, but rarely to strangers. We offer provision and protection to those whom we know, and not only that, we expect them to provide the same service when we visit their house. For our modern world, word hospitality is a personal and it's on individual level and has to do with entertaining relatives and friends with the perspective of the hospitality being reciprocated. But you see, in ancient Greco-Roman first century word hospitality was a public duty toward strangers where the honor and reputation of the community was at stake. It was a communal and sacred duty. In Jewish tradition, hospitality is rooted in their deep religious commitment that God commands Israelites to welcome and be hospitable to strangers and sojourners in their land. That God blesses those who are hospitable to strangers in the land. And in the early church, hospitality was a practical issue. The traveling believers relied upon other believers for food and lodging. Jesus, apostles, and Paul traveled and relied upon the hospitality of the believers to provide them for food and lodging. But as much as it was a practical issue, hospitality was seen as a fundamental expression of Christian faith. That is our response to God's hospitality to the world in providing God's Son as a sacrificial lamb, by living the life of radical hospitality in and outside of church community. And that's what it means to be members of the body of Christ, the one body of Christ. So how you show hospitality, hospitable love to friends and strangers among you? Well, we need to stretch ourselves wide to make room in our hearts, in our community, for all others to belong. And it means that we need to stretch ourselves. It means that we need to change in order to make rooms in our community. Don't expect others to change. See, we're living in a global community, isn't it? The people who are around us and our neighbors are made out of people all over from different countries and different language, different identity, different beliefs. They're coming from difference, a lot of difference coming from all over us. We are having a global community all around us. We are having global encounters every day in our lives. And how do we invite them into our community? Well, you don't expect them, our culture expect them to make changes, but we need to make change, creating room in our own hearts, in our community, for them to belong. Sometimes because of this, we tend to shut ourselves, we tend to create barriers and walls because of fear of unknown, the fear of those who are different than us. So we need to look at ourselves and see ourselves, just open the room, just not a gated house, but it's a kind of open house where the others will be able to belong. In order to do that, we need to stretch ourselves wide enough to create space. One practical way to do that is that I would suggest that for the last 2 months I was in, I attended many festivals around Vancouver. There are festivals happening almost every day and every weekend in Vancouver, especially in summertime. Anybody been to different festivals during summertime? Yes? Only 5 of you, or 6 of you, 7 of you? Okay. I really recommend you to actually attend as many festivals as possible, like heritage, like those festivals like cultural festivals, arts and crafts festivals. You're looking at like music festivals. You have a whole bunch of heritage, like people with different countries, they have their own festivals. Firework festival, you have Pride Festival. Even yesterday there was, in Stevenson, there was a Dragon Boat Festival. Like there are a whole bunch of festivals. In order for us to understand those people who are different than us, we need to go over there, just to experience, stretch ourselves wide to understand. Sometimes we don't always agree, sometimes we feel uncomfortable. But if we can just tolerate that discomfort, that it helps us to stretch ourselves, and to open, to create a room for those strangers and friends in our place. So what else is special about elastic band? Well, an elastic band holds things tight in one place as it stretches, right? A true love, a brotherly and sisterly love in the body of Christ holds each other tight together as it stretches wide enough to welcome. A true love holds and protects, trusting, hoping, and enduring all the way. Don't ever give up. Hold each other tight together. Jesus said, I give you a new command. He said, love one another as I have loved you. Can we hold each other tight in prayer? Can we hold each other together in service? Can we hold each other in humility? Can we be generous in complimenting one another and slow in criticizing? Can we be quick and generous in giving and offering ourselves for the cause of our community and slow in claiming our rights? Can we be accountable to one another spiritually, relationally, and morally? Holding each other tight also means that trusting each other. Right? Trust factor. See, every human relationship begins and relies on some level of trust from one another. If there's no trust, we can't do anything, right? Trust factor. Now, whenever I think about, in 21st century, whenever I think about church, what we are about, when we engage our neighbors who are coming from different background, what does church mean as a missional institution, as a church being called into our world? Three metaphors that come to my mind. Three metaphors. I usually understand what church is like, our missional work. Three metaphors. First one, church is more like conservatory. Conservatory. That we need to be deeply anchored and rooted in God's love in Jesus Christ. We need to be deeply anchored. That's our identity. We need to know who we are and whose we are when we go out there. As we respect those other religions and different cultures, but we need to bring what's unique about us. We got to be anchored in the faith of Jesus Christ and have that relationship with the person of Jesus Christ as well. That's our uniqueness as conservatory as a church in 21st century as we engage our plural society. Next metaphor that comes to my mind is observatory. Observatory. We need to look out. We need to see the signs of our culture. We gotta be updated all the time, not outdated. We gotta not only see what's out there, and it's not just about being relevant to the changing culture, but it's much more than that. To see, we gotta be, the term that I like to use is we gotta be semiotician. Semiotics means the study of science of our time. Semioticians and people who are actually seeing and reading the science of our time. Not just any semiotician, but Jesus semioticians. That we need to see what Jesus is doing in our community, making everything new and beautiful in God. And not only seeing that, but also we follow Jesus and join Jesus in making everything new and beautiful in God. Observatory. And we also need to be, the church is more like laboratory. Laboratory. Church has to be the center of creativity and where new ideas should emerge, right? Where the mistakes are being allowed, where people, a safe place to take risks. Not a safe place from the world, but it's a safe place for people to take risks and do a lot of radical ideas need to emerge. I mean, before Reformation, church used to be at the center of intellectuals. Church was a center of creativity, center of culture, center of intellectuals. But after Reformation, we have somehow lost that edge. And we're always catching up with our culture. We need to claim that back as church, laboratory. To create a room, a safe place to take risks. In order to do that, we need to have a trust. Hold each other tight, trust, and mutual love. And lastly, an elastic band that it stretches and holds, it connects. It connects. Our true love connects always. Verse 3 says, remember those who are in persecutions. Connects always. In the body of Christ, we need to constantly connect and link each other close and consistently. That's how you grow as a community, right? You need to meet up often as body of Christ. Don't stay home all day, folks. Go out and meet up, connect, and chat. In human relationships, quantity matters in the quality of our relationship. In the church community, quantity of getting together, speaking together, sharing things together, having fun together, having worship together, And eating together as one, it brings us as one in a healthy community. We gotta meet up more, folks. We gotta meet up more. Every growing church out there in the world, they meet up often. Every growing community meet up often. And the early church, they met almost every day to worship together, to Bible study together, to eat together, broke bread together. They served together, met up almost every day. I'm not saying we should do that every day, but at least we should do that much more than just meeting once a week. Like every Sunday, the only time that we meet usually is Sunday morning, 10 o'clock or 10:30. We worship for about 1 hour, and about that, after that, we have about half an hour fellowship, and then we all go home. I mean, I meet my Starbucks barista much more than that. And then we expect our church to grow, and we expect people to be disciples of Jesus Christ. It's just not possible, folks. It's just not possible. Meeting once a week, it's just not possible. You know that every early church, not only early church, but a growing church, they gathered together, connected one another. Now, I'm from a Korean background, and I know what Korean churches are like. I'm not trying to put the Korean church up there, but they know how to meet. They meet every day almost. Like they come to church on Sunday morning, they worship together, and after that they have a Bible study there, and in the evening they have a worship service again, and then they have a worship service, like prayer service every morning at 5 o'clock. Like in Seoul, traffic is kind of jammed 5 o'clock in the morning. In Seoul, people are going into church to worship and pray. 5 o'clock in the morning, and then Wednesday evening they gather together, praise the worship service, and Friday evening they gather together for all-night prayer service. You wonder why they grow as church, and we only meet once a week. And we expect our church to grow. The decline of United Church is not to do with the theology or anything of that. We only meet once a week. Come on, folks. If we meet more than together, to do things together, we will grow. One thing I like about Korean church is that I think we can really be able to duplicate is that they gather on Sunday morning and worship service, and right after worship service, they have lunch together. Almost every Korean church outside of Korea, in Korea, they do lunch together every Sunday. What it means is that as people are worshiping upstairs, there is a kitchen, there are cooking meals, and you smell all this delicious meal, and you just cannot wait until the worship is finished. You just go out there to have lunch together. We gotta meet often and eat often. Okay? So that's what I like about Summer Spirit Worship Service, because we gather together and worship service together, but we also gather together as breaking bread, and we have substantial lunch together, not just coffee and tea, not just small snack, but real lunch together. We gotta meet up often. We can do better than that. Early church met together as homes and prayed for those who are being persecuted. They remember those who are having a hard time for the sake of the gospel. They're linking together. We got to meet up more, folks. So think about hospitality in the terms of this mutual love and hospitable love and connecting love. And as I said before, whenever you think about those three loves, you think about elastic band. It stretches, it holds things tight, holds people tight, and then it connects together. Well, there's one more which I would not recommend. You can have fun with it. I would not recommend it. All right? Let's pray for our offering. God of love and grace, we bring our